Hello, welcome to another episode of Mr. Bench's Book Reviews. What's in the box today? Not sure why I did that funny face. Here we go. Oh, it's a big one. It's called Oi, Duck-Billed Platypus. It's by Kes, not sure, and Jim Field. And there's a little sticker that says from the creators of Oi Frog, which I believe I have also reviewed on this channel, so do check that out. But here we go, Oi Duck-Billed Platypus. Okay, written by Kes, illustrated by Jim Field. There's a nice illustration of the Duck-Billed Platypus. Here we go. It's one of these things with speech bubbles. So there's a frog talking. I won't always say it's talking. I'll just normally kind of read it, but I will show some of the pictures. There's a very nervous looking duck-billed platypus. It's like holding its feet. Because those are feet. Serving its hands. Like someone nervous. Anyway, this is being yelled at by a frog. Oi, duck-billed platypus. Sit on a... lots of dots. What rhymes with duck-billed platypus? Whispered the frog. Absolutely nothing, smiled the cat. The cat, if you've read previous ones of these, the cat goes around telling people what to sit on. So now the frog's trying to do it. And the cat's experiencing some kind of schadenfreude at the frog's inability to know what to tell the duck-billed platypus to sit on. That's a bit of context for you. What about cluck-filled hattybus, or yuck-spilled splatty-mouse, or truck-frilled flappy goose? Said the dog. Dog shows up a lot. There's one called Oi Dog. The dog's in. Don't be ridiculous, said the frog. Yes, don't be ridiculous, said the cat. I was only trying to help, said the dog. That's a bit mean, aren't they both cross with the dog, and he was only trying to help. It's a bit sad. I'm waiting, said the duck-billed platypus. He's got cross now. He was looking nervous earlier, but now he's being grumpy. Me. All falling out. We're all waiting too, said a crowd of animals with impossible to rhyme with names. None of us knows what we were meant to sit on either. Well, this is a fun page. Look, you've got this big double-page spread. Here we are. There's possibly an alligator or crocodile. There's a badger. Not sure that's a hedgehog probably, or an echidna. There's a hippo, an ostrich. So this is obviously kind of inviting the reader, for example, to see the camel and to think, hey, camel does rhyme with something. Camels sit on mammals, for example. So it's like a fun game. I mean, I don't think it's a problem if there's a rhyme for camel or for flamingo. I think that's just a bit fun. Some of these are quite funny looking. The hippo is wearing glasses and a tiny hat. Some sort of dandy. The tiger's wearing a hat as well. Actually, a lot of them are. I've got headgear. The camel has some hair that looks a bit like a hat, but I think it's just bushy eyebrows. Or it could be a wig. This alligator crocodile thing even has a kind of tiara. Very posh. The hedgehog looks like it's been through a hedge backwards. Not sure what that is. Is that a caterpillar with a funny hat as well? Yeah, lots of hats around. Seems to be maybe it's hat day. Though they're not all wearing hats. Anyway, let's keep going. I know, said the frog. What's your first name? He's still talking to the platypus. Dolly, said the duck-billed platypus. Dollies sit on brollies, smiled the frog. There you go, so he's found a rhyme with the first name for Dolly. That's nice. And she's happy now. My first name is Kate, said the kookaburra. Well, you see what they're doing here. Dolly, duck-billed, Kate, kookaburra, so they're alliterating their first names with the type of animal. Kate, sit on gates, said the frog. And then they show Kate on a gate. This is quite cool, because here Kate looks absolutely enormous, but it's just very close up, and then you see when Kate sits on the gate that actually kookaburras are actually quite small. Which you might not know if you've never been to Australasia. It's That's probably where kookaburras are from. I think the cricket ball over there is called the kookaburra, so it's probably named after a native bird. My first name is Herbert, said the hippopotamus. My first name is Hannah, said the hedgehog, so it was a hedgehog. My first name is Stella, said the starfish. My first name is Lemony, said the lobster. The lobster looks very funny. My first name is Jean, said the jaguar. So what, Herbert the hippo, Hannah the hedgehog, Stella the starfish, Lemony the lobster, and Jean the jaguar. Herbert sit on sherbets, Hannah's sit on spanners, Stella's sit on propellers, Lemony sit on anemones, and Jean sit on baked beans, said the frog. And this is nice, it shows them all sitting on the different things, and then the Herbert here is holding the spanner for the hedgehog to sit on, and things like that. Propeller. Propeller's a nice word. Jean looks a bit perplexed about sitting on a pile of baked beans. It's a nice little kind of Andy Warhol type thing. Lots of tins of beans. Could have slopped Jean down in just, the actual cooked beans, but probably better sitting on the tins. Well, that's nice. Herbert is sitting on sherbets, which is a bit dubious, but he's got himself a lolly, so he can dip it in his seat, and then these sherbet dippers, people love them. And so the hippos. He's good at this, isn't he? Said the dog. Too good, sighed the cat. The cat likes it when the other people have difficulties. It's consistent character. What do iguanas sit on? Said the ibex. Ibex, kind of antelope with curly horns. Iguanas sit on bananas, said the frog. That's a nice one. Iguanas sit on bananas, Terrys sit on cherries, Claires sit on pears, and Ellens sit on melons. Now on the previous one, they kind of made it obvious. They said like Lemony the lobster and didn't they? I think they did. Yeah, my first name is Stella, said the starfish. My first name is Lemony, said the lobster. But here they think you've picked it up now. So they say Terry sits on cherries, then you look, and Terry is a turtle, or possibly a tortoise. Claire's sit on pears, and Claire's the camel, and then Ellen sit on melons, and then that's another interesting one, because not everyone knows what an echidna is, but I guess that's an echidna. It starts with E, and is therefore called Ellen. I like the way the Ivana, she's eating one of the bananas as well. Bit like, and Claire's having a pear as well. They're really eating what they're sitting on, except for Echidna Ellen, who is just knitting. I don't know if it's the thing that echidnas knit scarves. Terry Tortoise is reading a newspaper where he's won a race. It says Terry Tortoise wins. It's interesting. I was recently reading a book where there was a hare, and they were talking about the hare and the tortoise. 54th annual hare and tortoise race yesterday. Next year I will win. Wept Warren Hare. That's in the other Oi book. That's hares sit on chairs, and I can't remember if that was the 54th. Oh, that's it. That's really good. That's like the next day after the hare one, because in that one the hare is reading the newspaper, and it's the hare. It's a preview of the race, and the hare's giving it all this, saying, I'm going to win. But it seems now that Terry Tortoise has outpaced the hare, and now the hare is not giving up and saying, next year I'll win. And then there's a pop quote here that says, he fell asleep again. So that must have been the hare. So Harry needs to pick it up a bit. This is the Daily Shell, though. I think the hare was reading something like the Hare Times or something. Hare News, some hare-based newspaper. So it could be that this is a very pro-tortoise report, but they probably report the winner correctly either way. The tortoise does even have like running shoes on, actually. So maybe this tortoise, maybe Terry doesn't do the whole slow and steady tactic, he just zooms off, and the hare collapses into slumber. Well, that's very nice. I don't know if Jim Field just comes up with that, or if when they make these books, Kez says, hey, do the tortoise and give him a newspaper that throws back to the previous one. Well, this is all Jim Field's creativity. Hard to say, really. Anyway, we should continue. What about Bobs, said the budgerigar. The budgie. Bob sit on corn on the cobs, said the frog. Bob sit on corn on the cobs. Clive sit on hives. Ozzy sit on cozies. Oh, swim costumes. Sophie sit on trophies. Renata sit on chipolatas. And Zane's sit on trains. Zane the zebra. Renata's a rhino. Sophie's a squirrel. Ozzy's an ostrich. Clive, probably a caterpillar. Sitting on a beehive. They love hive. I did the number rhymes book recently, and there's all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hive. So people do seem to struggle to find anything else to rhyme with. Things that end in ive. And Bob sit on corn on the cobs, which is fine. There may be other little jokes hidden, like the budgie's hat says fly on it in big letters. I don't know if that's the thing. A reference to anything. And the squirrel's reading a book called Nuts About Nuts by Bruce and Cyril. Don't know if that's a reference to anything. The rhino is wearing wellies. Yeah, what's going on? Which is cool, really. It means you can read it a couple of times and you spot something new, etc. What about Neeves, said the numbat. Neeves, sit on leaves, said the frog. Now a numbat, I believe, is this thing here. And the only reason I know that is pronounced Neve, which I believe is an Irish name, is because it rhymes with leaves. But that's quite good. It teaches you how to pronounce Neve, which is nice. The alligator's sitting on some sort of... Oh, here we go. Alice's. There we go. Neve sit on leaves. Alice's, so it is an alligator, not a crocodile. Sit on palaces. It's on these children's play palaces. Freddy's sit on teddies. Freddy must be the flamingo. Pippa's sit on slippers. Ah, that's the pelican. Paws sit on walls. Puffin. Puffin? Penguin? Probably a penguin, actually. But it's wearing a sombrero and penguins. Well, I guess maybe if they're not in a cold place, they do need to really shade themselves from the sun, so maybe a sombrero is the most appropriate hat. Tailors sit on sailors, that must be the tiger, and Baileys, the badger, sit on ukuleles. Well, there's loads going on in that one. I mean, what I quite like is that the pelican is sitting on the slippers of the flamingo, which are like down here because the flamingo has such long legs. That's quite cute. I'm not sure about the relative sizes of the birds, if that would actually work. And neither numbat's quite cool. And Alice, she's sitting on a palace, and she's also got like a tiara. So it's quite a royal theme going on there. And Bailey is sitting on the sailor's ukulele and also playing a harmonica, so they're like singing a song together, possibly a shanty. Oh, and even the tiger's got a tambourine. So that's nice, the three of them. Oh, and even the penguin's got a trumpet. So they're quite the band there. Could even imagine the frog singing as he marches. Hard to say exactly what they're singing. But no, that's a nice jolly scene. That only leaves me, said the kangaroo. First name, said the frog. Geraldine, said the kangaroo. No, that's a break of pattern. Geraldine starts with a J. Letter G going J. But kangaroo starts with letter K going K, so that's not alliterative. G and K are very similar sounds, with the only difference being the voicing. But J isn't. Second name, Jemima, said the kangaroo. Well, that doesn't work either. Any other names? Asked the rock. And this is nice as well, it invites the reader to think, hey, maybe something does rhyme with Geraldine. Geraldine's could sit on baked beans. Jemima's could sit on... well, that's harder, isn't it? But Geraldine's could sit on something that ends in E. Because they're fairly relaxed about... like they had Bob sitting on corn on the cobs. Sometimes they do have additional syllables in one of the rhyming words. Any other names? Asked the frog. Amelia Esmeralda Honeydew Higginbottom Pinklepunk Johnson, said the kangaroo. So the kangaroo's full name is Geraldine Jemima Amelia Esmeralda Honeydew Higginbottom Pinklepunk Johnson. The last three of those are the surname because they're hyphenated. I don't know if those names have any sort of... None of them start with a K. I don't know. Don't know if that's referencing them. Anyway, that's her nice name, and the frog is looking quite perplexed because he can't think of rhymes for any of those. Sit where you like, said the frog. Well, that's a good answer. Capitulate. Cat's happy because the frog gave up. And where's she going to sit? In a jelly. No words on that one, which is quite nice. They've done that in the past. Oi frog. There isn't any text, but you just see, well, when we're in the ending, watch the video, you'll see it, but they also do a last page without actually writing what's happened. Well, very nice again. Good work, Kirsten Jim, Gray and Field. Didn't we have any quibbles? Only if you're being annoying, obviously, as I said, you could say, well, why doesn't the camel sit on a mammal? Why doesn't the flamingo sit on a dingo? And actually, flamingo, well, it's possible that one of the other ones in the series, they do have a flamingo sitting on something that rhymes with flamingo. I'm not sure, I may have misremembered that. I really liked the bit with, that was the highlight, Terry the Tortoise having smashed the hare in the 54th annual hare tortoise race. That was very cute. But you can see he's kitted out for it. I don't think the hare had any sweatband to rival the professionalism of Terry. So, you prepare, you win your races. That's the moral of that book. And it was fun, the rest of it too. Enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Oi.BillPlatypus. Very good book, and I will see you next time for another of Mr. Bench's book reviews. Bye!